How's it going, YWC? Lucha Underground. This is my first review on Lucha Underground in months, and there's a good reason for that. Look, Lucha Underground to me has not been appealing in any shape, form, or fashion. I've just fallen out of the storylines. The wrestling is good. It is very, very good on Lucha Underground, but it just didn't hold me. And like a lot of people, I stopped watching the product. But last week, I was on Twitter and I came across one of my favorite wrestlers, female wrestlers, and she had a picture where it looked kind of like Lucha Underground. I paid no attention. I was like, might be a new look for her or whatever, and her promotion. And then the other wrestler in the same promotion had the same particular kind of background picture. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, Lucha. Okay, I got to do some research into this. As it turns out, three women of Stardom, the top women of Stardom at that, debuted in Lucha Underground last week and attacked Pentagon Dark and joined Black Lotus and essentially formed the Black Lotus Triad. And the three women from Stardom are, their name changed in Lucha Underground, but Kari Hojo, Mayu Iwatai, her name's kind of hard to pronounce. And the ace of the group, Io Shirai. So after the attack on Pentagon Dark in Aztec Warfare, this entire episode was Pentagon Dark versus all of the members of the Black Lotus Triad. And it starts off with Pentagon Dark facing the newly named Doku, aka Kari Hojo. And this was a pretty good match. The only thing I didn't like about it was the fact that Doku didn't get in all of her offense. If you haven't ever seen Kari Hojo, which I assume most of you haven't or whatever, she has a very unique wrestling style. It's mat based and has strikes, but it's so weird and violent. It's her own. Like, for instance, you saw her spear tonight. It doesn't look like any spear that anybody else does because, for one, she catches the people at a kind of weird angle, and she doesn't just like try to muscle down the spear. She actually, before she gets to the person, she does sort of like a jump into them, more like a traditional, like a real spear. Like she actually straightens out her whole entire body and dives shoulder first into the person's gut. Really like her spear. And what she's most famous for is her infamous top rope elbow drop. It is one of, if not the most beautiful elbow drops in all of wrestling. Yes, I know Macho Man has the most iconic wrestling top rope elbow drop, but I gotta say it. Kari Hojo's elbow drop is better than Macho Man's. I know. I know. It's gonna give me hate, but I gotta say that. But the match between the two, it ends when Doku hits a spear on Pentagon Dark, sets him up for her elbow drop, hits it, the crowd goes wild, and then she goes up top for a second one. Pentagon Dark traps her and breaks her arm in that submission thing. And then it cuts to a promo where Sami Callihan, I don't know his Lucha Underground name, Sami Callihan is working out, and then Katrina appears and says that you still love me because you're wearing my stone, but I love another, and it's Mil Masquez, and then she licks his face, and he's like, shit, I got to face Mil Masquez or whatever. And then you get the second match between Pentagon Dark versus Yuri, a.k.a. Mayu. And this was very interesting because Mayu, in her Stardom wrestling, she's mainly a face. I don't think I've ever seen her as a heel, and to see her play this more dominant heelish role and not really showcase the offense that made her famous, it was it was awkward to see, but she made it work. She was giving Pentagon Jr. the ass kicking of his life. This skinny girl was just throwing around Pentagon Jr. like a piece of trash, just completely dominating the match until she tries to go for what I can only assume would be a front senton to a standing Pentagon Jr. He pretty much catches her in mid senton, hits the pile driver, the package pile driver, and then breaks her arm. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is getting kind of bad. Yes, they had pretty nice showings from the top people of Stardom, but pretty much when Pentagon breaks somebody's arm, they don't wrestle on TV for a couple of months. Hell, sometimes not until the next season or more. So I'm thinking, well, that's bullshit. I mean, I want to see more of these women in Lucha Underground, especially on American television. Is he going to just run through Loshari too, and then just be back down to facing Black Lotus? Anyway, before the match happened between Loshari and Pentagon Dark, the monster Matanzo is sitting in his jail cell because Dario Cueto has his brother in the jail cell because he's a monster, I guess. He's working out and whatever, and Dario Cueto comes in and he's like, next week you're going to get your title back because you have a match against Johnny Muno. He's like, no, I want Rey Mysterio. And he's been punching the wall or has blood in the question mark, and he's like, Mysterio. Then you have the match, Io Shirai versus Pentagon Jr., the best match of the night. And Io Shirai, all of the hype that you've heard about her or haven't heard about her is true. She is one of the top tier women in all of wrestling. I personally like Kari Hojo better because of her moveset and her uniqueness, but props to Io Shirai. She is an all-around talent. She can do high flying. She can do mad babe. She can do heel characters, face characters. She can do it all and perform it very well. Let me talk about what. Oh yeah, the dive she did off of the top of Dario Cueto's office. Yes, we've seen it before, but she threw a little something extra into it. Got a little more height and extended her body a little bit better. And I'm kind of at a loss of words because at the end of the match, I'm expecting Pentagon Jr. to just breeze through all three of the women and, just for storyline wise purposes and get to Black Lotus. But Io Shirai hits Pentagon Jr. Dark with a Canadian Destroyer. I'm like, oh, well, I've seen people get hit with Canadian Destroyers and Lucha Underground. Like, he's going to no-sell that shit and kick out. No. She actually pins Pentagon Dark. And the crowd's just like, wow. Amazed that even happened because it goes against what you would see in traditional wrestling shows and their logic. Some of the highlights of the match also were Pentagon choking out Io Shirai with the television cord cable. Io Shirai just has a very good moveset. It wasn't fully on display in this match. This was more of her showing the brawling and the physical stuff. But wait till she has a couple more matches in Lucha Underground, and you're going to be really amazed. So after Pentagon Jr. gets pinned, the rest of the Black Lotus Triad comes out with Black Lotus. And Black Lotus comes to the ring, and she breaks Pentagon Dark's arm. And then Dragon Azteca comes out, and he had just gotten his arm broken a couple of, I guess, episodes ago or a season ago by Pentagon Dark. And he comes out, and it's like a showdown between Azteca and the Black Lotus Triad. The Black Lotus Triad look at him and just leave the ring, and then he grabs Pentagon Dark's other arm that hasn't been broken. He sets it up for Pentagon Jr.'s arm break thing, and he says, This is my vengeance. So he breaks Pentagon Jr. Dark's other arm. So I guess we won't be seeing Pentagon Dark for a while since he has 2 broken arms. But all in all, for a show that just revolved around a gauntlet match, it was pretty good. Maybe I'm being a little bit biased myself because I want to see more of the top women from Stardom. Um, I don't know where the storyline could go. I mean, hopefully they get a lot of airtime and this thing continues. But I think that's pretty much it. I guess next week I'm going to start watching Lucha Underground as long as the top 3 women of Stardom are on Lucha Underground, and then we'll see where it goes, depending on how well it captures me after they go or stay. And this was, like I said, a surprise to me because I wasn't expecting them to be on Lucha Underground, but I guess I should have seen it coming since not Lucha Underground, but Lucha Underground's parent company, AAA has a working relationship with Stardom. AAA, they sometimes send their women to Stardom, and Io Shirai and the women of Stardom have been working AAA for years now, so I guess it wasn't that big of a shock to see them in Lucha Underground. And I guess it's also kind of good they give them new names and a little bit more edge in their characters, and I guess new characters. I guess one thing I could do before I go to help you guys, I'm going to leave a link in the description to, I'm going to try if I can find them, to all 3 women's, their best matches that I've seen so far. I have a link to the best Io Shirai match, aka I can't pronounce the name she was given on Lucha Underground. Mayu's best match, aka Yuri, and the best Kari Hojo match, aka Doku. So with that being said, tell me what you guys thought about this Lucha Underground episode, and I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.